Welcome, science enthusiasts, to another compelling episode of Afrik InnovScience, where we shine a spotlight on the brilliant minds propelling advancements in science, technology, and engineering across Africa. Today, we are honored to have with us Carene and Alene NDONG SIMA, a PhD candidate in human genetics at Stellenbosch University. Join us as we delve into the world of genetics, pharmacogenetics, and the transformative impact of personalized treatment. I'm your host, Patrick Amunye, and let's jump right into this enlightening conversation. Good day, Karen Donsima. Thank you very much to be with us today on Afrik InnovScience. Please, can you present yourself like that for the people who don't know you?
Yes, thank you, Patrick, for having me. It's such an honor. So my name is NDONG SIMA. I'm from Gabon, but studying currently in Cape Town, South Africa, at the University of Stellenbosch, where I'm looking into the impact that genes have into a person, the impact that genes have in the way that people metabolize drugs, basically. So this is where the pharmacogenetic part comes into play.
Wow, wonderful. What you're doing is very interesting, Karen. Wonderful. Your
Mm-hmm.
research focuses on the association between exposure to tuberculosis, drugs, and genetic variants in African patients. Can you elaborate on the significance and potential impact of this research?
Yes. So hopefully I do it justice. So basically we are looking at if there's an association between the way at which African patients especially from the southern part of Africa, metabolize drugs, and if that has an effect or a correlation with treatment outcome. So we're going to look at four different stages. So you have absorption, distribution, um, metabolism, and elimination of a drug. So basically, it goes from the very first stage of taking the drug and then it being distributed, metabolized, so breaking down, and then eliminated out of your body. So every stages is probably coded by some genetic things, and because also everything is coded in your body. So if you have a certain disease or a certain predisposition, it may have a genetic underlining. So we're looking at this particular aspect, especially
Mhm.
when it comes to tuberculosis.
Wow, interesting. I like the fact that you are from Gabon and you are doing your research in South Africa. There is like a collaboration between Africans. I like that, Karen. Wonderful, incredible
Mm-hmm.
work. As we navigate through the entry cases of your research, let's
Mm-hmm.
explore the challenges you have faced. I mean, what are the challenges you have faced till
Oh,
now?
well, with my project or as an individual?
Yeah, I would say with your project and also research in general you are doing right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So my group is basically focused on population genetics. So we don't do individual level type of genetics. We just look at how a population reacts, with the disease and things like that. So it's more bioinformatics, statistical, and then biology based. So our biggest issue would be the sample size. So of our cohort under study. So in more developed countries where you have maybe more resources, more scientists, they are able to recruit tens of thousands of participants. But because here in Africa, the field is still very new, relatively new, that is, we're still struggling to recruit a whole lot of individuals to inform our research. So that would be our biggest issue, plus fundings and infrastructure and having just the personnel, the people, the scientists to do the work. We're not quite there just yet because of the numbers, But we're getting there slowly but surely. It's very nice to see that we are thriving to get into those new fields so that we can also tend to our own diseases, to our own problems. We don't have to sit here and wait for other people to come and help us. No offense, but it's true. I think it's important that African scientists be at the forefront of African problems. Because if you look at the state of the world right now, everyone is having their own issues. So if we sit around and don't look into the beyond of, or, you know, the future, so who's going to come and save us, quote unquote? No one. So we must look into these new things. We must look and dare to go into the beyond of the things that we did not know before.
Your dedication to overcoming those challenges is commendable, Karen. Now let's shift our focus to your role in empowering future scientists. As a course instructor in genomics, how do you see the education and empowerment of African scientists contributing to advancements in research and genomics applications?
Well, I'm thinking, so I was a course instructor recently for, because it's on my LinkedIn, so it's public information, for the Welcome Connecting Science, which they go around the world providing workshop for like to teach people things, skills in the domain of genetics or genomics or, you know, things like that. And I was thinking this is a great initiative because we're doing things at this very high level, right? We dig deeper than the average individual will go, right? With regard to knowledge. And when we're busy doing these very complex things, and let's say we found a solution to a problem, but that's a multifactorial solution, right? It has different facets and all these things, and it's very complex. So if we don't provide awareness, we don't provide, you know, we don't educate others, how are we to implement those very complex things? Because I can be sitting in my office talking with other scientists, we understand each other because we are at that level. But then when you go and talk to layman people that don't have that same level of understanding of the biological aspect of things, then they don't understand what is it that we're trying to do. So if we're trying to change, let's say, how the healthcare system works or implement certain medications or regimen for certain diseases, then you're going to go and tell these doctors that have been trained a certain way, and you tell them, oh, precision medicine, we can give patients the right medication for the right duration and not just follow the one-size-fits-all approach, then they won't necessarily understand, because it's like, it's here, I'm doing the average thing, although very complex as well. But we must provide awareness. We must provide workshop and teaching and all of these things. So we also produce knowledge and knowledge acquisition and all of these things. So I think it's important, especially for very complex things, that we go back and let the population that we study understand why we're studying this, why it's important to study this, and how we're going to solve the problem. So otherwise, there's going to be such a huge disconnect between the very complex thing and the layman person, right? And that gap is going to be huge and too huge to even close. Because I was just thinking about all these questions you sent, and I was like, but that is so true, because we don't have the research culture just yet in Africa. Justifiably so, because of the past and how other researchers from other continents would come and treat us as guinea pigs, or not necessarily give you all the informed consent and all of these things. So it's important to rebuild this trust. Otherwise, we're getting nowhere, because if I'm struggling to get my people to contribute and maybe help us with our research by being a willing participant in the research, then how are we going to solve our problem that is unique to us if I can have you or me to partake in a study? So we can't just blame the people, we have to restore the trust. So that's why I believe all the awareness, the workshop training, the new field of study is very important for us. Because that's the only way to move forward. If we just do new things and try to master them and then teach others, so we can keep doing that together.
Yeah, it's very important to empower the next generation and also to build trust in the society. Show the
Yes,
society that research in Africa is very important and we have to
it's
be
very
more
important.
in it.
Mhm.
And you are not just thinking about the next generation in the society, you are also thinking about the next generation of postgraduate students. You have held leadership positions representing
Yes,
postgraduate students. How does this
yes.
leadership contribute to the advancement of science and inclusivity in the academic community?
Well, that was a very tough question because I was like, but how?
Mhm.
So basically, I was thinking because I am the chairperson of the it's called Tigerberg Postgraduate Student Council, and our role is basically to look after the students, their well-being, and give them a transformative student experience. So we come here and we film and doing these very complex things that we're doing, and we might feel isolated. We might feel like I just want to do my project and then maybe go back to my country or go back to my community and do that. But that can become very isolating, especially when you do something very complex. Yes, I keep saying very complex, but very complex, and you have no one else to talk to about this thing. So I want to create this community of people that can come together and talk about all sorts of things, not just school or science related things, all sorts of things, and realize, you know what, maybe I'm 3 years into my program, but a university is such a different institution compared to the way the world works and the way even undergrad works. And I want them to know that this is the perfect opportunity to create these connections with other people that come from other parts of Africa. Because that is where we start. Because I'm from Gabon, you may be from Cameroon, but we come together into this foreign land. And let's say we leave, then I remember, oh, I know Patrick, and I know he was trying to do this thing. So I can easily call Patrick, email Patrick, and let Patrick know maybe there is a thing we can do, like intercontinent, not continent, but country collaboration and grow both side of the story here. So I really want them to look past the maybe I'm shy, maybe I don't want to talk with other people, I wouldn't know where to start. But we're all humans, we're all people. Just start. I want to create this environment that bring people together. That's the first step. And then the rest may be up to you. If you want to go and talk to the person, you should. I'm actually highly encouraging you to do so. Because this is we networking, we're creating bonds that will probably last a while, a lifetime. And this
Mhm.
is when we should start.
A vital role indeed,
So,
Karen. Yeah. Looking forward, let's discuss your vision for the future of
mhm.
pharmacogenetics in Africa. Um, what is your vision for the field of pharmacogenetics in Africa? And how do you see it impacting healthcare in the region?
So great question, love that.
Mm.
So if I hadn't explained what pharmacogenetic is, let me just, oh, I did, but like maybe in a smaller sentence.
Yeah.
So it's basically the study of how your genes affect the way you respond to treatment. So let's say you take a Advil or something for your headache, but you have side effects. Maybe the side effects are created by some gene combination or gene expression, something, and that's the reason why you have side effects. And then I take it and I don't have side effects. So we're looking into all of these small things. And my point is, if we are not in control of treatment or drugs, right, manufacturing, so production, then we are always going to just be behind. Because you don't create the drug you're consuming, you don't test the drug you're consuming, and the drugs are not optimized on the people on which they're supposed to be prescribed. So what we can do is, well, it's already been created, and we all know, I don't know if we all know, but it takes almost 10 years to create a new drug and 1 trillion American dollars.
Mhm.
Most underdeveloped or developing countries don't have that type of money and time, right? So if we have a system that can optimize the drug that is already on the market, then we're saving countries lots and lots of money. We would ideally save countries lots and lots of money, especially for common diseases like tuberculosis, you have HIV, you have malaria, that lots of countries where these diseases are endemic, the government is paying for this treatment because it's endemic in the country. So if we can find the right dose for the right individual for the right duration, then we can reduce probably giving a person 10 pills of a drug that they only need 5 pills for. And the healthcare system could save the money on the 5 pills they were going to give because, well, that's the one size fits all. That's what the WHO said we should give for this type of disease, this type of treatment. So I would ideally hope that we start studying lots of different diseases like cancer and how people react to that treatment at the genetic level and all the endemic diseases we have. Because if we're not going to create new drugs, then might as well might as well optimize the ones that are already on the market for our own benefits until we can start and create our own drugs and, test them, optimize them so they can better suit our population groups.
For young individuals aspiring to enter the field of genetics and pharmacogenetics, what advice will you offer them?
I'll say go into it because I'm really loving it because I also know I'm not bound. Yes, I do tuberculosis, but I'm not bound to tuberculosis. I can move to cancer genetics. I can move to malaria or all sorts of different diseases with genetic underlying. So I would want for us to maybe grow into this field and keep in touch with what's happening in the world, right? Because we are just as worthy as any other scientist in the world to do these very complicated things.
Yeah.
We have the mental capacity, we have the willpower. We may be limited when it comes to infrastructures and fundings and things like that, but we have the willpower. We have the knowledge beyond. We're all the same humans, so we can do it. So I would just hope that if somebody was to come across this video and hear pharmacogenetics, and if you think, okay, I'm not a scientist, so pharmacogenetics isn't my field, but just the fact that you heard something new to you, that can maybe direct you into a field that you never knew existed before. And then you can go into that field. I'm just grateful for all the opportunities, the lessons, and the experiences I'm gaining. So much so that now I know that I don't even have to stay in the field of pharmacogenetics if I don't want to. I could move into policy making. I could move into different things because genetics is so complex. This is the most intimate information you would get out of a person, right? Because if I know your genetic material, then I know how to, okay, I'm not going to give people ideas, but it's very intimate, the very, very intimate information. So in order to reduce the potential for harmful usage of such information, we have to make sure that our ethical guideline, all of these things are in place, right? Because it's nice when me, a good person, I'm like, oh, I want to help my people, I want to help so and so using this genetic information. You could have another individual thinking, ooh, now that I have this information, I can hurt people with this information, right? So we have to make sure that we have all of these things in place to protect not only our participants, but also ourselves down the line, because we don't know how these things can be used. So now we're going to have to look into, like I said, ethics and really strengthening this aspect. We have to look into hackers, because I'm more of a bioinformatics. So we store information onto servers and all of these things. We have to now have people in charge of making sure that this information doesn't get leaked, doesn't get hacked on. You see, that's even beyond the whole science part.
Exactly.
So if I start, let's say, a program like pharmacogenetic studies or research back home in Gabon, then I'm going to say we need so and so and so type of individuals. That has nothing to do with science. Engineers or bioinformaticians and all of these people to look after all of the material, the data we're collecting. That's already job creation, because those are the things people don't necessarily think about. So we can all work hand in hand. Nothing must or have to happen in a silo. right? Even if somebody comes with an economics idea or transport ideas or tourism, you have to make sure you're working together with other people. That's why I believe networking and really broadening your circle with all sorts of individuals is very important. Because now you get to think about things you would have never thought about before.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I just hope that this would help people just think about more than what we have, more than what is known. I know a lot of us in Africa, since we're in the African context, we think, oh, why am I going to go and do a master's? Why am I going to go and do a PhD? It's not necessary, right? There's no money in it. There may not be money in it at this level. Maybe it's not even about the money. But in order to take something out of the circle of the routine, the mundane routine it was going into, we can push it a bit further. Maybe we have this system, maybe we can enhance this system. Then somebody must go and study how to do that. That's how you have other countries that were also going through the same things as we did, but they're way ahead of us today because they have taken up certain amounts of people to study a certain amount of things at a deeper level and change the way the whole society works or how things interact with one another. We can change, we can find ways that work for us to build roads, infrastructures that are sustainable by studying further. How can we use the environment around us to build our houses better so they're sustainable? We don't have to follow a European. That's my own personal opinion. We don't have to follow a European or Asian system. But if we don't study and make what we have and use what we have to make something better for ourselves, then it's never going to happen because we are going to keep trying to mimic a system that can't apply to us because we're different. We have different mindset. We see things different culture even. So yes, there may not be enough money in it as of now, but you can, if money is your motivator, you can create things that will get you money. We have lots of issues with, I don't know, water or transport, all of these things. You can create systems that are going to make people's life much easier, and then you get the money out of it. It's totally doable, but if you don't think about it, how are we going to do things differently enough that it's considered novel and groundbreaking for your environment? We won't. So I would encourage everyone, it does not even have to be on the school front, because I know a lot of people have this debate, school versus entrepreneurship. I don't know why they want to pin the two against each other, but it doesn't even have to be in the school like the way the people understand its system. It could be in your entrepreneurial journey where you're like, okay, what can I do that is novel, that is new, that can help people? Like a friend of mine told me, identify the problem that most people share and then provide a solution.
Identify the problem that most people share and then provide a solution.
Provide a solution.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Exactly. Invaluable advice, Carene. Before we conclude, is there anything else you like to share or any final thoughts?
Maybe I want to say, life is short. I know a lot of people may think, what am I going to do this? I'm going to die anyways or whatever. Life is short, but life is also beautiful when you're having a good time. So I want to treat people the way I would like to be treated. So maybe my advice to others would be treat others the way you would want to be treated, and you'll see the doors that would open. Just don't be afraid. Go out there, say hi to somebody, remember somebody's name, and you'll see. Just be you, learn, and do good. And also remember, I was told there are 3 currencies in life. Okay, maybe there are more, somebody could argue, but there are 3 currencies. You have knowledge, time, and money. So most people have the 2 and not the 3rd one. Most people have 2 and missing 1. So use the 2 to create the other. So if you have money and time, use those to make knowledge. If you have knowledge and time, use those to make money. And so on and so forth. So don't limit yourself. There are lots of tools out there. you know, lots. YouTube, you can learn so many things. Don't limit yourself. And I would love for us to feel proud to be from the African continent, you know, and say proudly, I'm going to visit Cameroon, I'm going to visit Senegal, with, you know, Gabon, with so much proud, the way we are proud to say, oh, I'm going to America on vacation, or I'm going to whatever else country. You know, I would like to see that time come when we are so proud to say that I'm going to invest into my land, because we deserve to feel this way. We deserve
to feel at home everywhere in Africa.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Carene, for your.
No, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you very much for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick, for the opportunity, and I definitely wish you all the best with the channel. I think it's a great initiative, and I hope more people just, you know, watch it and learn something new. And I'm sure the people you have interviewed before, they'll be more than happy for people to contact them and ask them questions about, and that include me, and ask us questions about what is it that we study, how did we get there, what to do, right? Because access to information, guys, is everything.
Exactly. That's the point.
So don't be afraid to reach out. Most people are very much friendlier than they appear to be. So just ask, and what's the worst that could happen?
Wonderful. Thank you very much once more. To our viewers, thank you for joining us on Afrik InnovScience. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Until next time.
Thank you.
I'm Patrick Hamoni.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, goodbye.